An earthquake strikes the Middle East, a missing kindergarten teacher's body is found, and the Chinese weather balloon shot down last week may not have been so friendly. All this and more on this week's episode of Hawk TV News.
Hello.
Good evening, Monmouth University, and welcome to Hawk TV News. I'm Bryn Casey.
And I'm Lila Medovic. Just this week, we saw a deadly earthquake strike the Turkish-Syria region in the Middle East. As of February 9th, the death toll has raised over 21,000, with thousands still unaccounted for. Over 17,000 of the deceased were in Turkey, making this the deadliest earthquake in over 80 years. The 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck the area in the early hours of Monday, February 6th, and the effects could be felt as far away as Lebanon and Israel. The freezing cold temperatures have made it even far worse for those who survived the strike but were left without any power or home.
The University of Notre Dame is offering a new robot delivery food service. Partnering with Grubhub and Starship Technologies, this robot can bring food from on-campus retailers to students on campus within minutes. This service can be accessed through Grubhub by choosing a restaurant labeled Offers Robot Delivery. Grubhub is currently partnered with over 270 college campuses across America, giving students access to combining meal plans into their Grubhub accounts. The robot delivery will not disturb associates with campus dining, but will boost operational productivity for workers.
According to a new study from Acast, marketers are going to be taking advantage of the little ad rate with podcasts. 65% are expected to increase their spending on podcast advertising, while the 83% of those that already have previously purchased podcast ads will continue to budget more. These new implications prove that advertisements run our media. At the end of the day, it all comes down to money. With that in mind, podcasts are valuable because of their scarce advertising. It is interesting to infer how consumers will react to the implication and if podcast usage ratings will go down in correlation.
Two United airplanes clipped each other on the runway of Newark Liberty International Airport on Friday, February 3rd. United Airlines say the wing of one plane was struck by another aircraft in the morning while parking on the next gate. The FAA noted that the parked aircraft's left wing was hit during a manual aircraft relocation. The parked plane was able to deplane as normal and switch those on board to new flights on a different aircraft. Thankfully, there were no injuries.
The anticipation for the Super Bowl 57 is caused by more than just football. While many are excited to watch the Kansas City Chiefs battle the Philadelphia Eagles for the Vince Lombardi Trophy, others are tuning in for the 9-time Grammy winner Rihanna to take the stage for the first time since 2018. This year's halftime show is even sparking interest of the players, with chief wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling tweeting that his biggest concern of the game is being able to see the performance. Rihanna made headlines last year after becoming a first-time mother to a baby boy in May with rapper A$AP Rocky. The singer rejected the halftime performance back in 2019, so fans are very excited to see her comeback.
Fan of movies? Here's Ian Epstein with his review of the 2022 remake, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Films, and in this week's film, we'll be talking about the newly released war film, All Quiet on the Western Front. Released on October 28, 2022, All Quiet on the Western Front, or its German name, Im Westen nichts Neues, is a 2022 remake of the older film released in 1930. The film stars actors such as Felix Kammerer, Albrecht Schuh, Aaron Hilmer, and many other stars who give stellar performances in the movie. This film was directed by Edward Berger and the screenplay written by Leslie Patterson, Ian Stockel, and even Edward Berger as well. Based on the 1929 novel of the same name, written by Erich Maria Remarque, the film focuses on Paul Baumer, a German soldier sent to the Western Front during World War I, where he experiences the brutality and terrors of trench warfare under the orders of his superiors. The film also covers the point of view of Matthias Erzberger, an actual German official during the war, who must negotiate the peace terms for the German Empire with France. One thing to recognize about this film is its scenery. The scenery portrayed is absolutely stunning and terrifying, with a lot of beautiful wide shots and gory carnage as the characters plunge themselves into the openness of trench warfare. The soundtrack for this film is absolutely horrifying. Composed by Volker Bertelmann, the music in this film is saddening and makes tense moments seem longer than they really are, which is why I absolutely love this soundtrack. The director, Edward Berger, did not shoot this film in Germany, but in a military area and airfield in northern Prague. The area was a huge mud field and was estimated to be the size of 10 football fields. Felix, to fit his body for the role, had to put on a 10-kilogram vest and went running with it every day for 10 kilometers for months. This film is currently available on Netflix, and I absolutely recommend it for its stunning and shocking, and strongly encourage it to give it a watch. It also has an amazing scenery, heartfelt story, and overall anti-war message. That's it for this week. My name is Ian. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next week.
The Memphis Zoo experiences tragedy as giant panda Lele has died. Lele, the name meaning happy happy, was a fan favorite to those who visited the zoo. Lele was a happy-go-lucky panda that enjoyed apples and relaxing in a bed of fresh bamboo. Lele was scheduled to return to his homeland of China in an agreement with the Chinese Association of Zoological Gardens later this year, accompanying his partner Yaya. Unfortunately, the 20-year-old panda passed away on Wednesday, February 1st, and the cause of death is still under investigation.
In a happier animal note, a 30-year-old dog named Bobby broke the world's record for oldest dog on February 1st. The previous world record holder was an Australian cattle dog named Bluey, who was 29 years old and 5 months old. Bobby was born in 1992 in the Costa's woodshed, where he was almost killed off. Bobby's owner, Leonel Costa, saved him from this fate. From there, Bobby would double his life expectancy. Costa's credits Bobby's long life to his diet of unseasoned human food and his freedom to explore the countryside he resides in.
The number of children being exposed and ingesting marijuana is increasing in Colorado, despite attempts to keep edibles away from kids. According to the Rocky Mountain Poison and Drug Safety Office, kids age 5 or younger who have been exposed to marijuana increased from 56 in 2017 to 151 in 2021. Children are more frequently exposed through ingesting edibles such as gummies, cookies, drinks, and other products with THC. Since 2014, when recreational marijuana was legalized, Colorado has put forth directives to prevent children from getting a hold of these products. Some of these regulations include that no edibles can be in the shape of a human, animal, or fruit, and must be sold in child-resistant packaging. Research regarding regulations is needed to understand what elements are increasing these numbers.
The body of missing kindergarten teacher Luz Hernandez was found Wednesday, February 8th. Hernandez, 33, had been missing since Saturday, February 4th. She was known to be hardworking and compassionate. Throughout her 5 years working at the beloved charter school in New Jersey, the young mother's body was discovered in a shallow dug grave in Kearney, New Jersey around 5 p.m. Tuesday night. She was pronounced dead at the scene, with the cause of death currently being investigated, and no arrests have been made. The school closed Wednesday as a sign of respect for their lost loved one.
We have to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. More Hawk TV news coming up.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
Touchdown! Did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride.
Wait, why does my face look like that?
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
The Chinese balloon that was shot down last week has been reported to have been containing antennas that were capable of receiving communications from the United States. While China condemned the US for shooting down their weather balloon, State Department officials said that this was no ordinary weather balloon and threatened action against Beijing. According to official photos taken by high-altitude U-2 planes, the balloon possessed multiple antennas and even solar panels, which some suggest could have produced enough power to gather communications from here and send them back to China. The balloon was shot down off of the coast of South Carolina Saturday, as the US did not want to risk damages to anything or one if they were to have shot it over the mainland.
If the rising price of eggs is already causing you concern, get ready for worse. One of the reasons behind the sudden shortage is the outbreak of bird flu that, after starting last year, has killed millions of birds in dozens of countries around the world, including poultry and other wild birds. In the US, more than 58 million birds in 47 states have been affected, according to the Department of Agriculture. The largest global bird flu outbreak in recorded history has combined with increased costs of fuel, feed, and packaging to create a national egg shortage, which has resulted in a rocket-like jump in prices this last year.
A Phillipsburg man who allegedly documented the sexual abuse of a 3-year-old, then shared the content over the internet with others, is now in jail, New Jersey Attorney General Matthew Piketon said Wednesday. Jabari Amador was booked with a multitude of charges including sexual assault, child endangerment, making child pornography, possessing child pornography, and distribution of 25 pieces of child pornography, authorities said. Amador is currently being held at Warren County Jail pending a trial. Authorities also say that this is a search of the Colorado suspect's message turned up images that were traced back to New Jersey. In response, the New Jersey Division of Criminal Justice is prosecuting the case.
Ever think about traveling the world and experiencing new cultures? Study abroad may be the perfect option for you. Hawk TV's own Kaylin Forts gives you some world advice if you were interested.
Thanks, Layla. Ciao from Italy. It's Kaylin here on the Amalfi Coast in Sorrento. Don't get me wrong, I definitely miss New Jersey, but I'm loving my study abroad experience. Here are some tips and tricks if you're interested in this once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Number one is preparation. Preparing for your travels is something you do not want to procrastinate on, especially regarding documents like your visa and passport. If the country you're going to speaks a different language, it is certainly helpful to try and become familiar with it. And don't be afraid to reach out to the Global Education Office at Monmouth with any questions. They're here to help you. It's also beneficial to research the area you're traveling to so you can be more aware when you arrive. For Sorrento, Italy, many places are closed from January to March. So knowing this, I made time to travel to other places and explore the local areas. The views are incredible. Meeting local people is also helpful, and they appreciate when you try to speak their language. The food is amazing, nothing can compare. Although you have to pay for everything, even at the school, it's all reasonably cheap. And yeah, the volcanoes are still active, we just don't think about it. As for the actual academic part of studying abroad, there are so many interesting classes available. Even if a class doesn't relate to your major, you should still consider taking it if it interests you. The professors are super passionate about what they teach and they want you to succeed. Taking a language class has helped me a lot too, as it's something I can use every day while I'm here. Well, that's all the time I have for right now. Back to you guys.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color-coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Online fundraiser is gaining steam to help a Hazlitt family following a fire that has left a mother and her child dead and their home destroyed. It occurred in the early morning on January 13th on Brookside Avenue. Officials say that the fire started just after midnight when Jackie Montanero and her daughter Madeline found themselves trapped inside the burning house. They were rushed out of the home by responding crews and taken to the hospital where they both later died. A firefighter was also injured. The Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office says that they are still working to determine the cause of the fire, but they do not believe it was any suspicious nature. Just 2 days later, friends and family throughout the community are banding together to raise money through a GoFundMe page. It has raised over $130,000, which are being dedicated to their surviving husband and daughter, Will and Elena.
We have to take another short break, but stay tuned for the rest of Hawk TV News.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color-coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced House Hunter. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
Touchdown! Did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
I should take your phone away.
No.
I'll call for a ride.
Wait, why does my face look like that?
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him, he's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Representative Angie Craig, a Democrat from Minnesota, was attacked in her DC apartment Thursday morning. Representative Craig defended herself and left the incident with only minor bruising and scratches. Reports state that her attacker has been seen in her lobby acting suspicious, entered the elevator at the same time as her, did some push-ups before punching her in the chin and grabbing her neck. She then threw her hot coffee at him, which resulted in him fleeing. As of now, there are no signs of this being a targeted political event, but authorities continue to investigate the situation.
1,000 blind people's lives were changed, thanks to the world's biggest YouTuber, Mr. Beast. Jimmy Donaldson, the 24-year-old content creator known as Mr. Beast, paid for a simple 10-minute eye surgery for 1,000 patients who could not afford it, giving some their very own vision back and helping others see clearly for the first time in years. On top of that, he also gifted various things to participants in the video, including a $50,000 college fund and a brand new Tesla. The video has garnered over 100,000 and 30 million views as of Thursday and has undeniably raised the profile of the medical procedure he paid for and the challenges in access to health care for those in need.
A New Jersey councilman was gunned down in a parking lot outside of his office Wednesday, just a week after another New Jersey council member was fatally shot in her car. The killing of Milford Borough Councilman Russell Heller, who has served the residents of Hunterdon County since 2017, came exactly 1 week after Sayreville Councilwoman Eunice Dwumfor was also fatally shot in what police have called a targeted attack. However, the motive behind her killing remains unknown, but it is worth noting that both members represent New Jersey's GOP party. The suspected killer of Heller used to work at energy company PSE&G with him and committed suicide after the attack.
Now send you to Gabby Nadrich for an update on Monmouth sports. Gabby?
The men's basketball team has stayed on fire recently with a 61-54 win over Stony Brook. Led by Teron Allen's 22-point performance, the Hawks shot a combined 47 from the field and even had the lead at the end of the first half. King Rice's squad will look to make it 5 in a row when they take on Hofstra Pride at home this Saturday. The women's team dropped a game to William & Mary on Sunday with a final score of 68-73. Graduate guard Bree Tinsley dropped 30 and 5, but it was not enough as 2 William & Mary players had 20 plus. James Harmstead, an infielder for the baseball team, was named preseason All-CAA team following his record-breaking season last year. Harmstead, a senior from Manasquan, hit 18 home runs last year, setting the school's record. He also hit .271 while also driving in 48. He was also named to the All-MAC second team last year. 14 names were added to Monmouth University's track and field's all-time top 10 list after this weekend's Rutgers Open at the Armory in New York City. 8 men and 6 women officially get cemented in our record books in events ranging from the 600-meter to the 3-kilometer. That's all we have for sports, but be sure to check out MonmouthHawks.com to stay up to date with all of our teams.
Thanks, Gabby, and let's go Hawks. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Hawk TV News. I'm Layla Medovic.
And I'm Bryn Casey. Check us out on all social medias and YouTube to stay up to date with everything Hawk TV. Have a good night.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color-coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Christina from